What's going on, everybody? This is the Lower Midcard Podcast. I'm Kyle Driver.
And I'm Grind. And we went to the movies.
We did. Listen, we keep talking about it.
Yeah.
Wrestling is in the best spot that it's been in years.
Oh,
and we
my
have
God.
So much wrestling that it's now trickled into cinema.
And I mean, listen, the people that are in this movie, this particular movie, dude, Zac Efron, dude, that guy.
Zac Chicken and Rice Efron.
Oh my God. I've never seen a body like that. I've truly, I could not believe what I was looking at. There's no way that is one healthy, and there's no way that that is natural either, in my opinion.
I don't know. So here's the thing. Like, Zac Efron's already talked about stuff like this when he goes through like these body transformations. He fucking hates it.
Oh my
he
God.
Does not, like, he loves having his dad bod. Like, he was doing that one documentary with, I don't know, some fucking guru and traveling all over the world about, like, hey, guess what? Be fucking better.
Yeah.
He was a bit fluffy, and that's how he liked it. And I don't blame him.
Listen,
like,
well, what do you think his body, I mean, this is a weird conversation, but what do you think his body fat was in that movie?
You're looking at any like single digit percentage, right?
Yeah.
You're looking at somewhere in between. I mean, shoot, you'd be.
He looked like a bodybuilder.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, that looks like someone that went through a fucking cut.
Yeah.
And just walked out show ready.
For those who don't know what we're talking about, by the way, because we didn't say like what movie this is. The Iron Claw, the Von Erich family, of the most prestigious, most terrifying, dramatic, realistic situations that turned into a story. That the entire time my girlfriend is sitting there going, "Oh my God!"
Yeah,
it's a tragedy, and it does not get better. I mean, it continuously gets worse.
So I feel bad for like the casual fan that doesn't really know the Von Erich story, walking in thinking, "Oh, this is gonna be great. This
is a wrestling movie.
It's a wrestling movie. It's gonna be like the one with David Arquette and the fucking Oliver Platt."
Yeah, it's gonna be wrestling fun
tragedy.
Yeah,
this is not a feel good movie in any stretch of the imagination.
No, me and you have very similar but very clashing views on a lot of this stuff.
Yeah,
and to give a little bit of my perspective on the CM Punk return, I told you when we first started this podcast, I fucking hated CM Punk.
Yeah.
I hated everything he was about. I'm gonna be 1,000% honest. I think I like the guy, and not Phil Brooks.
You fucking Judas,
dude, not Phil Brooks, but I think I'm starting to like his character, and I think, and I'll tell you why. I think it comes at a perfect time. It comes at a time where it fucking throws everything on its ass and literally throws it for a loop, and everybody's just got to sit back and watch it, knowing that he is going to his hand is in the pot. Like, he is going to have some say, some control, and we all know it and we all despise it. But at the same time, maybe I like pain, dude. I don't know what it is. I just think about it more and more and more. And I go, oh my God, this adds another element to WrestleMania that keeps things so interesting. So interesting. I mean, you think about 6 months ago, the road to WrestleMania 40, right? You had Cody Rhodes, who's finishing the story, and how does he get there? And we're going to talk about this probably throughout this entire episode. But, you start adding little puzzle pieces. And the CM Punk one was something that was never on my radar. It was never a thought. Even when he left AEW, it was really never a thought until it became that idea of, why isn't it possible? And sadly, it fucking was possible. Money's money. Money talks. Yep. He can still talk on the mic. There is obviously, he's got the biggest fucking clip on the internet for pro wrestling ever, with his comeback, which is just insane to me. But it just shows you his worth. And no matter where you put him on that card, all it does is make it more interesting. You can hate the fucking guy, you're still gonna watch. And as much as I hated him, when he came back, it wasn't him saying he's home or the disrespect towards, Seth Rollins. It was almost like when him and Seth Rollins went toe to toe, I was like, oh, this is what I needed in my life. We've had the Drew McIntyres and we had the Gunther and we've had the Logan Pauls and, we've had all these people, but I needed a fresh face. We've had Cody Rhodes, which, was nice, but he's been there for 2 years now. And it's or a year and a half. And the whole finishing the fucking story. I mean, like I said, we're going to get there.
Yeah.
But with CM Punk, it was, I'm home. I'm here, I'm here to fucking kind of take over where he was. And we all know to a certain extent that's never happening again, which I think makes this even more beautiful. It's how many times is CM Punk going to have to bow down? How many times is he going to, or are they crazy enough to give him the top spot? The entire thing excites me. And it's because I truly believe that he's not dumb enough to fuck this up. And I mean, only time will tell. But if you look at the way he's been hospitable. He's all smiles. Now it's very new, but he's had a few matches. I thought he looked decent in his matches. I didn't think they looked bad. And I feel like it adds a new layer to WrestleMania no matter where he is. And here's the thing. Tell me one better match you'd rather see than Seth Rollins CM Punk at WrestleMania.
No, of course I'd like to. And here's the thing. As much as I hate the guy, I hate him. I do not like him.
Well, do you hate CM Punk or do you hate Phil Brooks or both?
I do not like Phil Brooks.
Yeah, he fucking sucks. He sucks.
Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah.
So I will say, and I'm allowed to let my emotions run at first, and then I'm a little more objective. And looking at this objectively, he looks happier. He looks healthier. And I hope that he can kind of redeem himself, that he's able to work with others and he can kind of give himself a little bit of a clean slate, and people can start looking at him in a different light. I hope he is different. I hope he has changed and he's not going to be fucking around like he did. Like you said, I don't think he's going to be stupid enough this time, because it's like, okay, you're here, don't fuck this up, because there's not going to be another chance after that, right? Because you're done, because you're not going to go back to AEW.
No.
Right? You're not going to go, well, there's other places that he could go. But anyway, like
it's besides the point. Yeah.
That's besides the point. So again, I hope he's on the right track.
I think the big thing is in order to be where he's at right now, he has to mend a lot of fences.
Yeah.
And I would say that probably behind closed doors, him and Seth have had to have conversations to a certain extent to make this work. And I think that's with a lot of the company. They're taking a big risk, and at a point where they didn't need to take a big risk at all. I mean, look at where they're at now. It's crazy. They did not need to take this risk. And yes, it really made a lot of people mad. I think it also makes a lot of people afraid for their jobs, because they know what kind of treatment he would get if he was there. And so sure enough, him mending these fences causes a lot of controversy. But what's good for wrestling? Controversy, right? Consistently drama. That's what, dude, it's our soaps. And so when you have a fresh face like CM Punk, and he's able to be, come back a complete baby face and a very apologetic and redeem himself, you have something you didn't have before. You have a mega star. You have another big name. Just add it to the deck. And wherever he fits in, I think he's going to do an amazing job. Because not only is his career on the line, it's, well, why would it? Well, like he's stripped of everything, right? So there's only up from here. Now the question is, 2 years from now, I think he signed like a 2-year contract or something like that. The question is, 2 years from now, does old Phil Brooks come out and start showing his colors? I'm gonna say personally, the company is too tightly wound now for him to ever be that version of
like that.
Because it's not a Vince McMahon thing. It's not a him and Vince thing. It's corporate. I mean, it's totally, it's not a one guy deal anymore. And if you fuck up, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if you were blackballed within pro wrestling.
We had World's End, which was the last AEW pay-per-view
Yes.
of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, like an overall score, I'm giving it a meh. It wasn't anything that wowed me. So as far as the matches, like we started off with Willow for so we had like there was 3 pre-show kickoff matches. So we had Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander, and Willow wins.
Thank
But
God. I love
yeah,
that. I love that. I really,
yeah.
really do.
I love Willow. She's awesome. I'm a huge, Willow stan. But that match was not great to watch.
No,
It was
I
very,
didn't. I
very
didn't watch it.
sloppy.
I didn't
It
watch
was
it.
very sloppy. So yeah, I mean, whatever. It progresses storylines. So and then you had the number 1 contenders battle royale. There was 20 contestants, and the winner of that one was Killswitch, aka Luchasaurus.
Did he change? So they were really naming him Killswitch.
Yes.
Did he change his name?
No, Christian Cage gave him a new name designation, and that's what he's using.
I like
because
it.
he's so right now with Christian Cage, you have Christian Cage at the top. You have Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus, and then you have Nick Wayne's mom, which weird. Anyway, so Killswitch, aka Luchasaurus, wins
they kept calling him that, and I'd never heard him called Killswitch. I always heard him called Luchasaurus. I was like totally completely caught off guard.
I don't know if it's a permanent like rebrand or
I like it. I think it's good. I mean, get rid of the fucking dinosaur mask now and rebrand that.
I don't know, man.
Dude, he's a monster. Get a Kane mask. I mean, like that style, do the fucking
just give him straight up. Just give him
spray painted black.
Like, make it blue. We can have the return of Blue Kane. Killswitch becomes the number 1 contender for the TNT championship. So and then you had Hook v. Wheeler Yuta.
That was the main event on the pre-card, right?
on the pre-show.
Yeah.
So we had that. It was for the FTC or whatever fucking I don't even know.
Fuck the world title. Wait, what?
Yeah, FTW title. And Hook wins. It was a fine match. I think Hook and Wheeler can go.
Boy, is he different from his dad. He is.
For sure.
It's night and day. I look for a little bit of Taz in him, and I don't see it.
I don't see. He's probably got more of his mom.
Yeah.
No. Hey, listen, Taz.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong. Yeah. We just know that you're a straight up thumb, man.
Like, exactly.
You're a big, strong boy, and we love you.
Yeah.
You suplex machine. Our first match of the actual pay-per-view. We had the as it's been flubbed several times, the BBC.
Jesus.
On live television. It makes me laugh every time. No, the BCC, the Blackpool Combat Club, Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli, Mark Briscoe, and Daniel Garcia versus Jay White, Roosh, Brody King, and Jay Lethal. This was the all of the contenders of the Continental Classic were in this match. So that's how that came to be. The winners of that one, BCC, Briscoe, and Daniel Garcia.
Lackluster. Brody King had some beast of moments that I really enjoyed.
I like him a lot.
I do
like
too.
Brody King a lot. And here's the thing is that they're underutilizing the House of Black, at least in 2023. I'm hoping it seems that 2024 is going to be a little bit better for House of Black. But yeah, they're underutilizing them. They're such a cool faction.
They are one of the most unique factions. Probably the most unique faction in my opinion out there.
Oh yeah, for sure. So moving on, we had Toni Storm versus Riho for the women's title.
I cannot back Toni Storm at all, dude. This whole Marilyn Monroe thing is just, it's ugly, dude. I mean, she's not, I don't know. Listen, dude, body shaming is not my thing. So I'm not going to talk about any of that, but I just don't think she pulls that look off. And it's very exaggerated and
but I think that's the point. I do say that wrestling does miss some of those like more old school personas you would see instead of something that's kind of more like emulated, real life type stuff. it's nice to see. I could see it being better. I get it. Like, I watch and I kind of go, ugh, whatever. I roll
Yeah.
my eyes, but I still watch whatever because
I'm
I
glad
do think
somebody's
that
watching.
I do think Tony is talented in the ring. But anyway, she retains. That's fine.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this. I don't appreciate all the Rio hate that's out there. Like, people hate on her because she's tiny.
Yeah.
But then you have like XYZ of people that are the same height, same weight as her that are
Mhm.
over on,
On the
other brand.
yeah.
So it's just, the fucking internet, dude. Anyway, fucking internet. Miro versus Andrade.
Loved this match, dude. I
Such
thought,
a good one.
oh my
Just
God.
meet forever, dude.
Dude, and not just that, I think we finally, after like 4 years, got closure with the Miro Bobby Lashley storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Miro and his wife are finally wait, is that right? Yeah, that was Miro wins. Miro wins and his wife kind of sets him up for the win.
Yeah, she's gonna jump his bones now.
Yeah, dude. And I never thought I would see the end of that story. And it finally came full circle. I fucking
on a
loved
completely different promotion.
it.
This next match was supposed to be Swerve versus Keith Lee. Keith Lee announced that he has an illness of some sort or injured. I don't know what it was. But he was unable. He was unable to perform. And so the match was Swerve versus Dustin Rhodes, the Natural. And it was just a squash match. Like, just Swerve fucked him up, and it was a match.
Props to Dustin, man. I mean, first and foremost, I don't know how much longer he's going to do the damn thing. Still looks relatively good. The fact that he was there, I like Dustin a lot. And, obviously Swerve is the guy that they're really, really pushing, and they're going to really push hard in 2024.
I hope so, because he fucking deserves it. And I think he's extremely underrated.
Yeah.
I mean, within like the AEW community, he's over, right? Mm-hmm. But I mean, again, they are the smaller promotion. They're 5 years into this. It's been a bumpy road. It's still pretty bumpy, but Swerve is definitely one that deserves to be at the top and kind of be one of those faces in AEW. La Sex Gods, which is Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara.
Every fucking time this guy has a new name that is so
well, that was their
ridiculous,
dude. That was their first kind of like their first tag team, like near the beginning of AEW and the inception. So, like, they had it was before Jericho Appreciation Society, there was another little group that he had, but it was basically the same people.
I love Jericho in the WWE, and I think I know why. He didn't have creative control. Now he's got too much creative control.
Way too much. So anyway, with this match, before we start losing the plot.
I've lost the plot.
La Sex Gods, Sting, Darby Allin, versus Ricky Starks, Big Bill, Konosuke Takeshita, and Powerhouse Hobbs. So
that doesn't even sound fair. I mean, this isn't Sting in his prime or even close to his prime. This isn't like fucking Jericho, 10 years ago. This is people who should literally, I don't know. I mean, Jericho can move. Don't get me wrong. But what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing here?
The match proceeds as you would expect. And the La Sex Gods and Party win because Sting's on his winning tour, so because he's fucking retiring.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. I actually I loved this next match. Julia Hart versus Abaddon.
It was a classic. It was good.
It was a really good fucking match. I'm super pumped at seeing all that growth that Julia Hart went through. She's super young, just starting off, and she's already fucking leagues above majority out there, right?
What's interesting is she stayed kind of quiet like the first year or so in House of Black. And to see her kind of on this run has been great. It was interesting because at the end of the match, there was a point where they it looks like she's made a friend, CJ or something like that. Sky Blue, that's who it was.
It's like her minion.
Yeah, and I think that would be a cool addition, hopefully, to the House of Black.
Yeah.
Um,
I think Sky Blue needs that because
yep.
like she's been kind of like she's like the community, like the fans love her. She's okay in the ring. She's nothing crazy. She's in there doing the thing. She can hit the moves, whatever.
Yeah.
But a persona has been kind of failing her. She's gone through just basically like fucking cute girl, and
We talked
then
about this. Yeah. We
yeah,
talked about how literally there was an identity crisis.
yeah,
And it's really been like really missing the target.
right. So
So
hopefully this helps with
yeah,
that a little
yeah.
bit. Little image boost never hurt nobody.
I will
So
tell
anyway,
you. Yep.
I was gonna say the match was great. As no surprise to anyone. Because I think they should keep this feud going. Because Abaddon's also incredible. Is Julia Hart. She retains. So
I'm gonna go back to this, to the
yeah.
cosmetics, man.
All right, here we go.
Abaddon, dude, has one of the coolest makeups in the game.
Right.
With the whole head turning thing, it's very
Yeah.
zombie-esque.
Just the way she carries herself is really cool.
Can we get like a full bodysuit or something that just covers up certain parts to really get this character in depth a little more? Like, I know it's pro wrestling and whatnot, but like, dude, you could see her hands and they were just like pale white, like they weren't like, her makeup was like gray, which I thought was really, really cool. And it was almost like she had like a zombie head with like a female wrestler body. I would have loved to see more of a suit, and then her head be exposed the way it is, to really take that character kind of to the next. I know this is being picky, but I look at this shit, man. This is what takes me out of the matches. Like, if you look at like Mankind, he had an outfit that wasn't just a wrestling outfit. It was like a costume.
Yeah.
The guys that had these legendary costumes, if you're going to go to the extent of trying to be something out of this world and different, I really think, like the Undertaker got away with it because his makeup all matched his body. And then
Right.
he wore the purple gloves forever before he had tattoos and he looked like a dead man, right?
Yeah.
You can't look like you're a zombie and then literally the rest of your body is like just pale pigment white. It looks weird. It doesn't look, it's like, oh, you're putting on a persona. I don't know. It took me out of it.
There are other like oh my god, dude, she's kind of terrifying, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But there are other like ring attire that she had that is a little bit more, it flows better. So anyway, we had Adam Copeland versus Christian Cage. Now, the reason why mostly I loved the end of this match.
Yes.
But you're right, there was a lot of fucking danger. There was a lot of danger. A murder was gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I thought it was great. I think they hit their spots. I mean, all in all, we watched two best friends of decades wrestling each other.
Yes.
Something that hasn't happened for a long time, and that finally happened. And I thought that was really special.
Oh man, dude, listen, if there's anything to say, it's to say it's not over. This is going all the way to what was it, All Out or All In? It's going all the way. That will be the final match between the two of them, 100%. This really weird situation with the kid and his
he's
mom.
Like his dad. He's the stepdad. It's the stepdad angle.
Yeah, that's cool and all. I get it. Is it necessary? No. Does it put him in the mix? Yes. Does he get to learn from the greats? Yes.
Sure.
Does a mom need to be there? Is that the real mom? Is that the real mom?
I think it's his real mom.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that he missed that table.
Big time.
And it looked like it hurt so bad.
He took it like a champ, though.
Yeah, he did. I feared for all of their lives as they were pouring gasoline on the table. Really no care in the world if they got it on themselves at all. Kind of shocking. I don't know if there's
wrestling.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like a magic gasoline or something that we don't know.
They're using butane.
Oh, okay.
They're not using actual, they're using lighter fluid
Gotcha.
for
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
because it evaporates quickly.
Quickly. Yeah.
So,
Uh,
yeah, it's fine. So,
it-
like, basically, they set up the spot, and by the time that they go do their shit, they're fine.
Gotcha. That was interesting. I
Yeah.
thought the little turn at the end with Kill Switch and Christian was the typical thing that I fucking
Yeah.
hated since day one. I thought for sure, and I think down the line, I think Kill Switch does turn on Christian,
Yeah. Yeah.
because of how, I mean, this has been pretty scarring for Luchasaurus, Kill Switch. I mean, Christian's really made him a puppet,
Right.
for
Of course.
like the last 6+ months.
Yeah.
So I think that eventually that happens, but
Mhm.
you're gonna see a lot of Adam Copeland versus Christian, I think,
Oh,
here in
yeah,
the next few
for
months.
sure.
And will it
Yeah.
get old? I mean, that's the big question. I
I
felt like
I don't think it will.
I felt like the match was very it was sentimental. I think if you
Yeah.
take the sentimental out of it and you watch it and you turn off all the audio and whatnot, I don't think it's as good as you think it is.
Okay. You know what? That's fine. Let me
Yeah.
I let you nut over
Yeah, you
fucking
did.
Brock Lesnar. Let me do this.
Yes. No, and that's fine. I think that's totally fine. Right.
But anyway, go
No,
ahead.
but and Adam, listen, Adam, in the weirdest of ways, the older he gets, the more crazy he looks. I
Yeah.
fucking love it. I love it.
Yeah. Well,
Christian
he's
hasn't
been
aged.
acting.
Yeah, Christian hasn't aged a fucking minute, dude.
Damn it. Him and his fucking 40-year-old dad gym attire, man. I
Yeah,
swear.
the fucking turtlenecks, dude. That's
Goddamn.
Christian. Anyway.
So for those that do not know, the ending of the match was pretty interesting. I thought it was pretty entertaining. So Adam Copeland pins Christian Cage 1, 2, 3 and is the TNT champion. Then out of nowhere comes Kill Switch, and
Mhm.
he allows Christian Cage to cash in that title shot that he won earlier on in the night to then retain the TNT championship. And so there was a little bit of a, very, very quick title reign for
Yes.
Adam Copeland. And
But
that's how it ends.
but it ends with struggle internally with Kill Switch.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Where
It needs to happen.
I mean, dude, you could sign a 2-year contract with Christian right now, just between the Adam Copeland and Christian and his new son. That's gonna become a thing.
Yeah.
And then Christian and Kill Switch, you've got them booked for the next fucking year. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like,
man.
it's I mean, it's you know what? It kept me entertained, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's cool. The next
Sweet.
match was a classic.
Oh, I thought it was incredible. And I know people fucking hate on him. Eddie Kingston
Mhm.
and Mox,
That's my
they
guy,
put
dude.
on an absolute fucking banger.
Eddie Kingston is so not what I would listen. If you are a
Yeah.
casual wrestling fan and you are listening to this or watching this and you don't watch AEW or you have no idea who Eddie Kingston is, this man is the most underrated, like just underground fucking badass in the game
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, oh, yeah. People hate on him because he's
He's not what
And
you
it's not-
typically are
No.
He's not what I'm looking for.
no, he's more Japanese strong style wrestling, machine gun chops,
Yeah.
And I've had the pleasure of seeing him wrestle live several times across different promotions. And it's just he resonates with people.
Yep.
Like he's from New York. He's a fucking just scrappy dude from New York, and he's down to earth with the shit that he says, and you just can't help but love him. Like he resonates with the everyday person.
100%.
With how he carries himself. And people hate on him because they don't like his wrestling style or because he's fat or whatever, things that don't actually fucking matter. And they hate on this guy and they're just like, I don't understand why he's getting pushed. He doesn't deserve all these accolades. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, as somebody who's super casual when it came to the AEW stuff, I immediately looked, cosmetics matter.
Yeah.
And I was like, what in the world am I watching? Like this guy, it looks, he looks a little thick, and that's fine. But it's a different thick than I've ever seen in pro wrestling.
Beer gut.
Yeah, he's got the beer gut, and but he presents himself in a way where it's so appealing that when you
Yeah.
watch it, you're like, is this really happening right now?
Yeah.
And then he's able to keep, this is the craziest part, is everybody knows that like he could be in
Yeah.
better shape and whatnot.
Right.
But when you watch his cardio and the way he's able to keep up with the John Moxley, especially in this match,
Right.
he's not a step behind. Now, will it
No.
affect him, 10 years from now? Probably.
Maybe.
But as of right now, man, this guy's got cardio for days. He goes
Yeah.
and
He's still like, he's long in the tooth in the game, man. He's been around for a long time.
they took a 209 Stockton Nate Diaz slap and turned it into a slapping match.
Yeah.
And it may be one of the greatest finishes in any wrestling matches I've ever seen, because they broke it down to a almost like a mutual respect.
Yeah.
And Eddie Kingston gets the best of John Moxley to become the Continental champion.
Yeah.
The triple champ, right?
Yeah, and he's a triple crown. He retained his new, because at the beginning of the Continental Classic, he threw his New Japan Strong title and his Ring of Honor title on the line as well. So whoever won this tournament got all 3 belts.
What a fucking beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, and he retains. I think I know people hate on him. I love Eddie Kingston. I think he's great. And I'm just very happy for him, and he's getting his just deserves with Samoa Joe versus Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. So all in all, God, how do we? There's so much. Okay,
dealing with the devil, man. I mean, it's MJF. And this is kind of where things transition in this conversation. Leading up to this match, I had sent Kyle a text to a link that was like one of the sports websites that MJF had released a statement that was like 3 pages long about his time in AEW and how it was coming to a close. And that basically, there are no hard feelings, that, this promotion really helped him grow when others didn't. He gave thanks to, Jericho. Think of anybody in AEW who was there and helped catapult the AEW brand. He gave thanks to them for Cody Rhodes, even for allowing him to be on the same card and give him that first opportunity, and then he kind of left it open at the very end about where his future and heart kind of lie. And going into this, he was home. It was in New Jersey, right? That's where his home is. Yeah. And so, instead of coming out with 1, the devil mask, 2, knowing that this is his final match on the contract, at least, I had my own thoughts on where this match would kind of go. When I saw him enter the match, it was different.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same, I'm going to go down to the ring and whoop your ass. It was very bittersweet. He came out in a very throwback, I would almost say, shout out to the Von Erichs, the Iron Claw movie, ring attire.
Yeah.
And
he had a great jacket on.
Yeah. And but it was very different from the approach we got at his entrances in the past. And it was just, you could tell something was different. It was time. Samoa Joe did what Samoa Joe did what Samoa Joe never did in the WWE. He literally, his whole run in the WWE still baffles me, because he was hurt half the time. He was an announcer half the time. He was the United States champion, but never got over. And, in TNA, he was a fucking monster. So sure enough, goes to AEW and he's a fucking monster. And I love it. I think it's great to see that version of Samoa Joe. I think he's proved that he can be the guy, especially with the Ring of Honor championship. And to see him just kind of, I don't want to call it a squash. It was a good performance by Max. But Max was hurt. That was the whole entire angle. And I'll tell you this. out of everything I saw in that entire match, I would have never thought that's how Max loses.
Which so and here's the thing, and this is where it kind of carries on into the end. So basically we have we get Joe winning, right?
Yeah.
And
Rear naked
then
choke.
rear naked choke. He goes down. And then as people may have speculated, the devil comes out, and it turns out to be so Adam Cole's in the ring with him, right? Yeah. He's consoling him and all that stuff. It goes black, right? And then the lights come on. Adam Cole sitting in the chair, and he's got all the people behind him that were, in the devil masks or with the jackets on. And it turns out to be Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, Wardlow, and Adam Cole.
Yeah.
That Adam Cole was the devil. So we're going to be getting some pretty interesting, events happening after that, which I think is a really good angle. I think it's Adam Cole being the devil is probably the best case scenario.
100. Yeah, I agree.
Because I was fucking terrified that if for some reason that it was like Jungle Boy Jack Perry, I would have fucking I would have been like, hell fucking no.
We never got to really talk about it. I mean, I think we touched on it a little bit, but
yeah, a little bit.
I was really hoping for Dolph Ziggler. That's who I was hoping for, but there's really no tie, right? Like the thing with Adam Cole is he did this in NXT too. There was when the Adam Cole and MJF thing really first started kicking off and they were going to be a tag team and whatnot, there was a moment where Adam Cole gives MJF a hug and somebody on TikTok or something, the knife in the back.
Yeah.
And they related it to something he had done in NXT where he had turned on, his faction in NXT.
Right.
And so I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that. And then when he got hurt, it really seemed like Adam Cole was kind of making the situation worse for MJF, right?
Yeah.
And so I was not shocked at all. I would say that he was my front runner other than a new face. Like if it was going to be somebody who was there, he was my front runner. So for me, the entire devil thing could have been so much cooler.
It could have been.
It could have been. It's kind of a bummer. I won't say it's a waste. I think Adam Cole, when he's healthy, I think he's going to be an interesting part for AEW. Do I think his star fades and he becomes somewhere in the mid card? 100%. I don't think he's the guy. And I'm sure that, with potential of MJF leaving, there is some limelight there for him. But I don't know. I mean,
and I forgot a name on there. Roderick Strong was also lined up behind them.
Yeah, there was four in the back.
Yeah, the Kingdom has been reformed.
Yes.
And for all of you that do not know, there was a faction called the Kingdom that was with Roderick Strong, Adam Cole, and Matt Taven and Mike Bennett.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
That concluded the event. I thought, I mean, it's the conclusion we needed. It was bittersweet with the MJF stuff. I mean, they literally buried MJF.
Yeah.
But what an interesting way to go out, especially when your contract's up.
Yep. And let's, might as well just jump into it.
The fun talk. Ooh, this is
the fun talk. This is the one that we've been putting off to the end because this is the juicy shit.
Yeah. So since the last podcast, we've had so much wrestling that we I feel like every episode it's like, oh my God, there's so much wrestling. Like that's what we do. But it's the truth and it never seems to let up. No. And, with that being said, there's a handful of people that are, free agents making returns, potential returns. There's speculation, and the one that we just got done talking about, MJF losing is MJF. What happens now? And I'm gonna let you take the floor on this first because I have my opinion. Yeah, go for it.
Now, I don't know what's gonna happen. I would like to think that he goes back to AEW, right? My main concern is that if he does go to WWE, is that they are going to ruin him because I love MJF. I think he should. He's a great heel. He can get the crowd behind him, right? He's excellent on the mic. He's great in the ring, and I don't want him to go to WWE and just get completely squandered, you know? Like
Mhm.
that's my biggest fear is that like just because he's huge here and he's over, like a lot of that doesn't translate, you know? Like we talked about with Samoa Joe.
Mhm.
You know, sometimes it doesn't translate that way. So, I mean, sometimes you got to find out too, right? So, wherever he goes, I'm gonna watch.
I'm gonna
I
tell you
would like
this.
to think that he goes back to AEW though.
I think that's what Tony Khan's hoping for too. I don't think MJF goes back to AEW. I don't think you write a 2-page letter in that regard. I think he knows what his stock is worth. I think timing is everything. The way his contract lines up right now, it lines up perfectly for an appearance at the Royal Rumble. And I think the WWE knows that they have something that's very developed, something that is very young in the age of MJF only being 27 years old. And Cody being MJF's friend, Cody being somebody who believed in MJF, and seeing what MJF has been able to accomplish. I would, if he does not appear at Royal Rumble, I will be blown away. The next two really get interesting because
They do.
we're talking about a women's division that I've said time and time again is hurting. However, in the last month or so, they've kind of picked up the pieces, and
Yeah,
a
a
lot
little
of
bit.
that NXT talent is starting to make its way over to the WWE.
Mhm. Yep.
AEW could really use some of these names. AEW's women's division is kind of all over the place. I'd say that there's more names in AEW that are probably relevant than the WWE. You have just the WWE's got a lot of filler people, like people that
Yeah.
you know are just never gonna be at the top.
Mhm.
But Sasha Banks, aka
Yep.
Mercedes
Monet.
Monet,
Yeah.
there's been rumors floating around with
A
her.
lot.
She's been posting photos with like Triple H in the background and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Man, somebody's either trolling hard or something's going on behind the scenes. I
Um, it, there's a lot of talks right now. Like I know that like a couple weeks ago, a lot of heavy Sasha to the WWE talk, right?
Yeah,
But over the past couple days, you've been seeing a lot of insider reports of Sasha in talks with AEW.
yep, signing
So
for millions.
yeah. Um honestly, like if she goes to the AEW, I think that's a huge W.
Totally. And
Um
you know what? Honestly, with the way she ended things, that's where I want to see her personally.
yeah, I mean and that's so like everyone I think that the with AEW, their women's division is stacked. I think it lacks structure and
Hmm.
direction. And like you said, it's a little chaotic. I think adding a veteran like Sasha to that locker room could help with that, right?
Yep.
And you have some familiarity with her and Soraya, and Ruby Soho. I think that would be, I think, a better fit for her. But that's going to segue into like I don't know if you want to talk more about Sasha, but there was another name that kind of came up in contention with Sasha Banks going to the WWE. So I don't. Do you want
Yeah, yeah,
anything else,
yeah, yeah.
Sasha?
No, I mean you're keep going. You're
All right.
smooth as butter right now.
Is AJ Lee
Yeah.
and
What
I'm
a
100. I'm so against it.
what an interesting just like a total like 180, right?
Yeah.
Like Sasha Banks, who's been relevant, who made it a ginormous impact in the WWE and then walked away from it all, and decided like, hey, I'm going to New Japan, like I'm watch this, suck it, that kind of attitude. Supposedly there was a lot of mistreatment and that kind of shit that went on. She's doing her own thing,
Mhm.
and now it's like, okay, there might be this revamped Sasha Banks coming to the WWE again because of, like we talked about, there's a new regime I mean, it's TKO, right? So
Yeah.
things kind of make more sense. It would be probably the right fit for her. However, you know, as you said, talks changed. From my understanding, it was all money based. She wanted the same deal as Charlotte Flair. They're like,
Yeah.
no, ain't no way you're getting that.
Yeah.
And so things haven't worked out from my understanding, and I do believe that she's going to AEW. One, she'll
Yeah.
have more creative control. Two, on top of that, I think she knows that she'll be at the top of the heap. She'll be able to kind of school the women's division and look, you know, be able to do her thing. AJ Lee, on the other hand, well, her husband is CM Punk.
Yeah.
You know, he's loving the WWE. There's photos, I feel like, every day of him with some new, here's the one thing I'm gonna put out there about these photos that he like I keep seeing of CM Punk. He's always with the like NXT women's division.
Yeah.
What the
Yeah.
fuck is up with that?
I don't know, but there's a little joke that kind of goes along with AJ. Is that the only reason she would come to the WWE is just to make sure he's not fucking people, you know? Like, I mean,
It's not far fetched when you
no, it's
see the
not.
photos that I'm seeing, you know.
Yeah. So,
And the
it's whatever, man.
but I never, up until this moment, I didn't really put two and two together. And then now I'm starting to think about it. I'm like, I don't think I've seen any photos of CM Punk since the Shawn Michaels photo
No.
with, like, it's always with girls. Like, he's always taking photos with the NXT women's division.
Well, then again, he may be at the performance center training people.
Well,
you know?
or training AJ Lee, right?
And here's the thing. Okay, so God, dude, I think we're doing it. Okay, so I don't know if it's just like a meme for wanting her to come back, or if the CM Punk simps are so fucking down bad that they just want to be able to watch the woman that fucks CM Punk. Like, I don't know, like whatever dirty fantasy it is, or if they legitimately want her back. And me, I'm gonna say it. I thought she was incredibly overrated.
Yeah.
Because like they're like, what do you mean? She was like one of the best. And I'm like, you're trying to say she was the best during the worst fucking like women's era.
Well, that's the
division
thing,
fucking
right?
sucked,
That's
right?
that's the thing. Like, I look at the era of CM Punk and I think it was one of the worst. I know you have a different opinion here, but
Right.
like Daniel Bryan, I don't like that run. I don't like that time period in the WWE. I don't like the John Cena, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk era. I think that era fucking sucked. That's when I was least turned off from wrestling, was that era. I didn't understand it. It didn't relate to me. Kane was like corporate fucking Kane. You had AJ Lee running around him, making him fucking seducing him and whatnot. Like, what are we doing? And she was a part of that period.
Yeah.
And so, CM Punk, I didn't really ever relate to until kind of now, where I'm like, oh, kind of dig what he's doing. But with her, I don't care. Sasha Banks, this is gonna sound fucking just right up my alley. Sasha Banks, dude, you know what the funniest thing is that when she would come out, me and Grind Out, we'd always look at like her entrances and like, damn, dude, that outfit's fucking sick. Like, she had some of the best fucking ring gear, some of the best, man. She had her style. She was the boss. Like, I was like, okay, I can get behind it. One of my fucking favorites, AJ Lee. Dude,
and it's like, and then they're watching old ass clips of her training with CM Punk for her time on Heels, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, one, she was very mediocre.
Yeah.
When it came to in the ring, on the mic, I just don't think she has a place in the current landscape of the women's roster. She doesn't fit there, right? Like, and people are like, what do you mean? She was like the best during. It's like, that's not the flex that you think it is. She was wrestling the fucking Bellas, bro.
Well, right. But you see what the Bellas did, though. You see, I mean, like, listen, they transcended wrestling a little bit.
I get it.
AJ Lee was a part of that time period. And here's the thing. If you want to spice up one of the biggest events of the year, the Royal Rumble.
I get that. I'm behind that.
And that's what's going to happen.
Okay,
guarantee you.
If that's all that happens, cool.
Yeah.
You want your cheap pop during WrestleMania to have one of those familiar faces come back. Fucking great.
Now, here's the thing. You could help potentially she could help out the WWE Women's Tag Team division. I wouldn't mind, hear me out, I wouldn't mind if her and like Bailey got together and had a run. Like,
Oh,
but here's the thing, I don't care about them at all. So if Bailey's gonna go, AWOL on fucking her faction,
yeah.
maybe that's the move. Do I want to see
Wow.
AJ as a top champion? No.
No, I do not want to have. I don't even want her.
Yeah.
Please go to the ring for the Rumble, get thrown out,
Yeah.
and please don't come back.
And you know what?
Because
Maybe that's what she does, dude.
I hope so.
Because obviously she wasn't a fan of going to AEW. Like, there's, I think there's a lot of speculation because CM Punk has mentioned her in passing in regards of his promos. I think there's a lot of speculation just because he's back that she's going to return. Now, I would not be shocked, like I said, if the Royal Rumble was the place that she does it.
Yeah.
It makes sense. But does she want a full-time deal like CM Punk? I don't think so.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Somebody's got to watch their dog, right? They have a dog.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I don't know.
Well, and here's the thing. I think that is more than enough time to cover. We covered AJ Lee more than enough. We gave her too much time, personally. I will say this. There's one more key to the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
The biggest name of them all, the great one, The Rock, made his return to Monday Night Raw. After some crazy speculation, Triple H laid out the idea that there was going to be a former champion making his return. Then we got rickrolled by the Raw general manager. I don't know if you saw that. Did you see that at all?
No.
Oh my goodness. He put out a YouTube video, Happy New Year's. And then he literally said, he segued into Never Gonna Give You Up. And he started singing the song, and it was like almost like a part of his speech. And I was like, oh my God, he rickrolled us. All leading up to the idea that we were going to get a former WWE champion who ended up being, The Rock. But before we got there, we got Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
Which
the modern day Maharaj.
Dude, I'm so glad that you are that guy. This is why this podcast works, because I fucking hated that guy. I still hate him. He brings nothing to the WWE, in my opinion, other than he looks like he's done all the roids. And
hey, listen, you show a little respect to the Punjab Punisher, okay?
I can't. You know what? I will give him this. I will give him the kudos. He that takes a lot of balls to be that guy, knowing that you were on top of the world and you are there to get fucking squashed and shit on. And that's exactly what happened, man. It was embarrassing for him. I think it took his championship reign and kind of really lowered the bar of what it was. He was, here's the thing. I don't like him. I'm not a fan. I'm glad people like you enjoyed his run. But I'll put it right up there with JBL. I hated it. I hated everything about it. I didn't get it. It didn't do anything for me, and it turned me away from wrestling. Yeah. It was one of those runs that just turned me away from wrestling. However, thank God, the great one saved the day.
Yes.
And I got shivers. I was so happy to see him.
Yeah.
But the entire time I had one question. What is he doing there?
And we found out.
And it's been in speculation for months since his return in September. And one of the best lines I've ever heard. He was hungry and he was going to go get some food.
Where was he going to sit?
It was a booth, potentially. But, The Rock likes a bar. So potentially the bar. But then, he had to ask the question, what about the head of the table?
Mm-hmm. And then the crowd goes nuts. And
I fucking lost it, dude.
I did one of these. I did the smirk and nod. I was like, you son of a bitch. Because because I think the whole bloodline needed a little change. It was stale, right? Yes. Because the Usos are split up. They're on different brands. And then you got Solo Sikoa and Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns. It needed a little something.
Mm-hmm.
right? A little contention within the ranks, if you will.
Yes. Think about the road to WrestleMania in this last
God
year.
damn, it's gonna be fucking incredible.
Well, but think about it in the last year, right? Since the
Yeah.
last Royal Rumble, right? Or the last WrestleMania.
Yeah.
The story coming out of WrestleMania was Cody Rhodes, WrestleMania
Right.
40. How does he get there? Then you got CM Punk going, oh, fuck. He's bringing
Randy Orton.
Well, Randy Orton. You start, all the names that led up. Oh, is he going to lose it to Jay? Like just these weird fucking things. Like, who's going to be the guy? Is he going to break the streak? People didn't think he was going to win at WrestleMania 39. And it was the idea of like, how many more days does he need this title? And the last one being CM Punk. The idea that he's entering the Rumble. The idea that Seth, if he's lucky, gets a chance at CM Punk. The idea that they have a history with Paul Heyman. And so there's all these different people. The twists and turns could not be any better. Could not keep you more off the fucking tracks of what was going to happen this year. And that one line, in my eyes, fucking made it definitive. Unless Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson gets hurt, you are going to see The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. Yep. And it is going to be the greatest WrestleMania of all time.
It's going to be incredible. I literally cannot wait.
I'm speechless, man. I mean, I could you ask for any more in the last 10 years of wrestling? Could you ask for a better WrestleMania? I don't think. Yeah, I think it may be. If things line up. I mean, think about the star power. What if MJF's there? That it could be the holy grail of WrestleManias.
It'll be up there and it'll be in the top 5.
I think about, we've been doing this a while. Like, we're kind of going on 2 hours, but we need to wrap it up here. But the idea that last year you had a tag team match headline night 1 of WrestleMania, and it was one of the greatest tag team matches I've ever seen in my life. And then you had night 2, which I would say lived up to it personally. I love the Cody Rhodes Roman Reigns match. I was like, how are you going to top that? How does that get any better? That is the best 2-night WrestleMania I've ever seen. Yeah. You top it with CM Punk, MJF, and The Rock.
There you go. You said it.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm a kid in a candy shop, man. My whole childhood has been ruined by this year of wrestling.
Yeah, it's and I'm ready. That's why I tell people like everyone's like, well, the greatest time for wrestling was the Attitude Era. I was like, don't ever watch it again. Yeah, because it's fucking not. No, it's bad.
Yeah. What would you like if The Rock could do anything? Right. What is the path and what is the destination for The Rock's return?
Honestly, like I think that what this does is that this is going to be kind of like one of those situations to where you have a elder who is still well within his warrior prime, that is coming to contest the legitimacy of the current head of the table, challenging the current tribal chief, right? This is almost like a David versus Goliath situation where David being Roman Reigns and actually like he's at this point at a disadvantage. Like he is the underdog, right? This is going to be an opportunity for him to build himself up and kind of overcome it. Like if this would be one of those situations where it would fucking strap him to a fucking rocket and he would be out of this galaxy in light speed as if he got over on Rock. That's what I see happening here. Like Rock is never going to have some long title reign. He's not that guy anymore. He is there for 2 reasons: to sell and to put other guys over. That's when you become to that level of the John Cena, The Rock, Stone Cold, you're not there to bury anybody. You're there to elevate others. And that's what's going to happen here. Yeah. Crushed it.
And with that being said, man, I don't think there's anything else to say.
I got one little snippet. You mentioned JBL. And that actually got me banned on TikTok. So I had a week ban on TikTok because I said, and they told me what I said. I said, fuck JBL and his little dick. That got me banned during my TikTok live. We were talking about announcers. Yeah. Right. And I was like, I go WWE 100% fumbled the bag with letting Miro Ranallo go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did.
Because he was so because JBL, being the piece of shit that he is, bullied him out of the job.
Well,
Because
he was next level. I mean, he was an actual analyst,
yes,
of combat sports. So
yeah,
that's a big loss.
yeah, huge loss, and he's fine, but
Oh,
he
he's
was incredible, and I loved him.
Yeah.
And so fuck you, JBL, and your little dick.
I
So
think that's
all I got.
that's the perfect way to start 2024 and the perfect way to end this podcast. With that being said, that wraps up another episode of the Lower Mid Card. We'll see you soon.